So now we go to an ancient religion. And a little introduction to Zarrir Bhandara, Zarrir Bhandara. Zoroastrians or Parsis are the most respected community in India. Famous among Zoroastrians in India are the Tata family and their vast global international industrial empire. While therefore purely for profit, most of the corporate profits from Tata Sons go to social programs by decree, by bylaws. Personally, I believe that this model of capitalism is the basis of economic prosperity for the future. Our Swami used to say, secular and spiritual is together, integrated, like yin and yang. So there are many industrial houses owned by Parsis in India that follow the same economic model, and you can see that it's right there. With this backdrop, there's only one word to describe Mohd Zarrir Bhandara, and that is selfless. Mohd Bhandara has dedicated his life to human welfare and social issues by giving selfless service because in the causes he believes in. He firmly believes that a priest and a teacher should be a living witness reflecting the life of an exemplary human being and taking care of living being, just like Prophet Zoroaster did. Zarrir exemplifies Prophet's idea of good priest, which one who nurtures the souls under the care of good thinking. No wonder Zarrir received the Jewel of Community Award at the 11th Zoroastrian Children Day in India, rendering 40 years of humane social religious service to India and USA. I checked on you, Zarrir, on the internet. The other thing about Zarrir is, he's a black belt in karate. So this makes him is Zoroastrian, Zen, what would you call it? A explosion of Zen and Zoroastrian. Would you please welcome?
Thank you very much. Yes, that was 65% of the profit of Tata House goes to charity. First, I would like to thank the organizers, Satya Sai Baba Group, for organizing this beautiful gathering. And I would like to thank all of you for being here today. And I want to request you, since the topic is of love and service, how I would describe love as feeling. And how I am feeling just now about you all sitting there for more than 2 hours. So I want to give yourself a big round of applause for being a very good audience. And one more round of applause for the very good welcoming that we all received with those 3 beautiful songs. Not just the way it was presented, it was wonderfully presented, but the lyrics were also superb. Thank you very much. Respected friends, ladies and gentlemen, the respected leaders of the community who have spoken so nicely. They have generated such good thoughts and words. But now, I really sincerely hope the dream of Dato Jagdisha comes true, that we make it into action. I know you must be tired listening to all of us. Good. But I request you to open your heart to receive this message that I brought from God. And why I'm saying from God, because I did not even open any scriptures to write this presentation. But whatever came to me, I put it down on the paper, and I asked my daughter Danish to put it together. So open your heart and listen to my message. First of all, I identify myself as a human being. As a fellow human, I'm connected with all of you. And as a living being, we all are connected. You, me, animals, plants, this earth, the universe. God's presence is in each and every one of us. That being said, I would like to join my hands and pay my respects to the God's presence in all of you present over here. Now, I kindly request you to shake hands with the person sitting on the right and left and say, "Your religion is great and so is mine." And we just heard Rabbi talking about Jesus. And we just heard Imam talking about love. And now we want to see that happening in action. Zoroastrians believe that everyone has their prescribed path towards resurrection or Frashogad. Each religion is a different path to the same destination. And each person is born into a given religion because that is the path that God has chosen for him or her. However, there can be exceptions if someone has a true desire to be part of a different religion. Today I'm going to talk from the Zoroastrian perspective about love and service. The prophet Zarathustra was the founder of the Zoroastrian religion, and he said there is only one God. And about 4,000 years later, another avatar, Saint Sri Sai Baba in the 20th century said, "Sabka Malik Ek hai." There is only one God. Thank you. Last month, we had the vernal equinox, beginning of the spring, which is also the Zoroastrian New Year. Nowruz. During the vernal equinox, the world rejuvenates and renews. Similarly, from today onwards, we can renovate and renew ourselves by practicing Humata, Hukta, Huvarashta, good thoughts, good words, and good deeds. A universal prescription for a productive, progressive, happy, healthy, and long life, and also the three main tenets of the Zoroastrian religion. If everyone follows these three principles, there would be abundance of peace, harmony, and love amongst all living beings of this world. Of course, it is easier said than done. How do we practice it? What is good? Good is showing love for another being and bring about happiness by providing selfless service. Good is showing love for another being and bring about happiness by providing selfless service. Please pay attention because I am not saying human being, I am saying being, which means all living beings. My friend Meher Amalsar has put it very beautifully in his book, Bread for the Head. I quote, "Good thoughts, good words, and good deeds are truly energized when we spread so much peace around us, there is no room for war. When we spread so much love around us, there is no room for hate. When we spread so much good around us, there is no room for evil. When we spread so much health around us, there is no room for sickness. When we spread so much light around us, there is no room for darkness. When we spread so much prosperity around us, there is no room for adversity. When we spread so much consciousness around us, there is no room for viciousness. Unquote. Darkness is the absence of light. Likewise, evil is not the opposite of good, it is rather the absence of it. Thank you. At times, we come across people who are constantly looking for something negative. And if it is not negative, there is no news. And that is because they are so inherently conditioned to look for something bad. Look for something wrong in relationships, in people, and then gossip. You may say we are just discussing or watching television. However, the negative thoughts become words, and thus by uttering those negative words, negative vibrations spread in the atmosphere. Not only that, but a toxic environment is created in our brains and bodies through negativity. In Zoroastrian scriptures, it says, energy flows where the attention goes. Energy flows where the attention goes. Our thoughts, being the most powerful instrument, not only affect our whole body, but also affect the whole world. And what affects the world affects us, because we are as much as part of the world as the world is part of us. It is an endless cycle. Hence, Prophet Zarathustra said, you have the power to make your own destiny. Speaking about power, one of the strongest powers that we have in our prayers is our prayers. Two of the oldest prayers, Yatha Ahu Veryo and Ashim Vahu, essentially emphasize on helping one in need. Ashim Vahu translates to doing righteous deeds because it is the right thing to do, without any kind of expectation, without any strings attached to it. There lies in true happiness. Would you like to hear a story? Only one person? Good. I would like to tell you a true story. Again, a question. How many of you were around in 1992? I'm asking you this question because all of you look so young. Well, in 1992 in Los Angeles, the Rodney King riots occurred. During that time, in the vicinity of downtown LA, offices used to close early because you never knew when the riots would erupt. A gentleman was working in one of the offices in that vicinity. One evening, ignoring the warning of his supervisor, he was working late, as always, completing his work. It had already become dark when he left his office. His car was parked about a block away, and he started walking towards his car. At that moment, the riots broke out, and the miscreants were in a total rampage mode. There was chaos everywhere, looting, killing, and setting fires. The gentleman, who was in his 60s and frail, started walking fast when he realized he was being followed. The stalker was an African American man about 6.5 feet tall. He noticed that the person following was catching up to him. So he started running. And suddenly, he heard the voice from behind. Sir, don't worry. I'm not going to hurt you. I've come here to help and protect you. The gentleman stopped and looked at the tall man. And further he said, you may not remember me, bro, but I am the same person who you have been feeding for many years every Sunday. The gentleman had been feeding the impoverished people sandwiches and soup for over 25 years, serving humanity with humility and love. He was none other than our very own and ardent devotee of Baba, and also a Zoroastrian, the late Mr. Jiju Motiwala. When you throw a pebble in the pond, you don't know how far the ripples go. It can even encircle you eventually. So, ladies and gentlemen, throw the pebbles of love and kindness in the pond of life so that when it comes back to you, it brings you happiness and immense satisfaction for providing a service with unconditional love. What is Zarathustra's idea of worship? Zarathustra introduces the unique idea that we worship God with His own divine qualities. We worship God's truth by being truthful, focusing on truth of love rather than love of truth. Focusing on truth of love rather than love of truth. We worship what is right by doing what is right. We worship His good thinking with good thinking. We worship His benevolence by being benevolent. In short, we worship God in the material world by infusing His divine and benevolent qualities into each thought, word, and action. In the temple of life, in our homes, in the business world, in academia, in government, in the practice of our professions, in our treatment of the environment, in the way we relate to each other, and to all the forms, all the life forms. A living worship in every sense of the word, thus serving the Creator by serving His creations with love. Serving the Creator by serving His creations with love. That being said, it is extremely important how we, the leaders of the community, interpret our scriptures. Before we came up on the stage, we heard Dato Jagdisa saying that there is a problem, and that is because of the religions. Yes, there has been more lives taken in the name of religion than any other natural calamity, or all the diseases and everything else together, put together, more lives have been taken in the name of religion. And why? Just like a knife in a surgeon's hand can save a life, in a killer's hand can take a life. So leaders of the community have got a lot of responsibility on their shoulders about how they interpret their scriptures to spread love amongst the mankind or otherwise. So let's interpret our scriptures to bring about more love, peace, harmony, and acceptance in our world, and show empathy towards all living beings through our thoughts, words, and deeds. I am grateful for the love and acceptance that Zoroastrianism and other religions have been shown. One, if it was not for the acceptance demonstrated by Hindus in India, today the world would not have known Parsi Zoroastrians who went to India as refugees in 936 AD asking for asylum. The Messiah or the Savior who is mentioned in the Old Testament in the Bible was the Zoroastrian king Cyrus, who helped the Jews to rebuild their temples in Jerusalem in 538 BC. He gave them the freedom to practice their own religion. 3, and before I mention that, have you ever seen a nickel, 5 cents coin? Next time when you see it, for me, I would have to take a magnifying glass to read what it says. It says in Latin, one democracy for all, one nation for all religions. This great country, the United States of America, has been a place where everyone has the freedom to follow their own faith and religion safely. So please look at that nickel next time when you see it. I would like to end my speech with a quote from Homage unto Ahura Mazda by High Priest Dastur Dr. M.N. Dhala. I quote, "Teach me, divine teacher, to place service before self. Let me wear myself thin in service to thy children, Ahura Mazda. Let my heart go out to all that suffer in thy great and good world. Lead me to deny myself so that my neighbor may not stand in want of anything while I have something I call my own. Let me rejoice in sharing with thy needy what little I have. Let me not live for self alone, but inspire me to live for all. Let my goodness help others to be good. Let me serve with body and mind and heart and soul, for the service of man is thy worship in deeds." Ahura Mazda, unquote. Thank you very much.